Hey friends, over the next few months, I will be interviewing unique people who have great ideas on how to make radical changes in America's eating habits, boost awareness of our environment, and contribute to the economic health of our country. This is Meryl Kennedy, and this is my podcast.
Sue, what a pleasure it is to be here, surrounded by all your beautiful kaftans and dresses. I feel so lucky to be able to feature you on Rise Up Your Bowl and to talk a little bit about your business, Women's History Month, and then also to bring it back about health and wellness and Four Sisters and what we're doing to support women in business. But first of all,
thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your story, because this is phenomenal, and I feel, I'm just like kind of overwhelmed with all the beauty around me.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm honored to be here. This is really, really great what you're doing, and I love your company, and we eat all of your products.
Love
and
it.
Particularly
We'll keep eating rice.
Eat rice. Our first pop-up.
And what year is this?
I think this is 15 that we did this, or maybe 16. And the pop-up here was like gangbusters. It was so much fun, and at the time, we had a rack of 10 or 12 pieces, and the women that came could order anything from that silhouette. So if you saw that tunic,
and this pattern, right?
Yep, you could get any color you wanted, because everything's hand dyed and hand loomed and hand embroidered. So it was like the sky was the limit. Well, the orders came in and it was incredible. But the problem was it was so much touch, it was so much follow up with the clientele that it almost became prohibitive because of all the touch involved with doing everything so specifically customized. And but we continued with the line. We streamlined the styles and developed a very basic website. And then Anu moved to Houston. Her family's from Houston.
Okay.
And then I kind of took the line to Sue Sartor.
Okay.
And then about a year later, I started working with a tailor in Jaipur. And
so directly working between Jaipur and here with your tailor.
Right, on using the app WhatsApp.
Okay.
So like if kids go to Europe,
mom and dad I use WhatsApp every day.
So I mean, it's like unbelievable.
All of our international customers on the right side use WhatsApp.
So it's incredible. And so what I love about that app in particular with Jaipur is that there is so many wood blocks, thousands you can choose from, and so many different colorways. And so they can send me options. I can send them a sketch back. I can either develop a custom wood block, or I can use one that's already been made that might be hundreds of years old, but I might choose a colorway and a piping color that's never been done before, just to make it unique and authentic to the line. And so they can send all those images over on WhatsApp, and then I can just send back, or you can check what your favorites are, and then if you find this way of communicating where we don't have to use words, and they do speak English. The head of my workroom does speak very good English, but really I've developed this grid where I can identify the fabrics and the blocks I want to use by what the base fabric is, what the lining is, the pipe, the border, and so it just becomes this very easy flow of communication. And so Jaipur came into the picture, and that was a game changer. I developed this particular dress that you have on, the Paloma.
I feel so beautiful.
It's
honestly.
So breathable, and the block prints are so fun. And this dress, my first few samples came while I was at a pop-up for Natalie Bloomingdale out in LA. And then the first box came when I was at another pop-up for her at Paloma Contreras' store in Houston. Well, the ladies in Houston went crazy. I mean, they were grabbing them out of the box. Like, I was having a moment.
You're like, is this actually happening?
This is a moment. Right, like, this is validation. Like, something's happening here. And so we named the dress the Paloma.
Okay.
And so Paloma will always have Palomas in her shop.
Okay.
And I always do an exclusive for her that no one else has, just as a, it's
a gift bag.
It's just a good vibe, women supporting women. Plus, she's incredible. And so that's why they became named the Palomas. And so it kind of has this, following with designers and people in the creative world, and really just anybody who loves a comfy Four Seasons, travel ready dress.
I mean, I have to say that I have absolutely loved the dresses that I bought from you this past fall.
Thank you.
And this one in particular, I was super excited for spring and ready kind of to to
Get
it out. But I actually, and you were right, I wore it around Christmas. I mean, you're absolutely right. You can wear these 4 seasons and perfect for the weather that we have here in the South.
The more tropical climate.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's better. But as you know, this month we're celebrating women's history and women supporting other women, and that's one of the big reasons why we wanted to interview. So I want to ask you, what's your favorite career moment? Because I know you had this very busy life in New York, but I mean, this new journey that you're on, after having children and almost like a new start in a way. What do you think?
Yeah. So it's
prepared
neat.
you
It's
for
so
this, maybe,
exciting to be asked that question because I mean, there are a few. But I think for me, like the epiphanies and the validate, when that kind of like that moment was really neat, and it was just a small moment where people were grabbing for it,
Of course.
and saying, "But wait, no, I want," and it was almost like this just kinetic energy of
You might
people
have
loving
my
my
fight,
and then I could see that the brand was
right.
developing, and all that work was coming to fruition. So that was a neat moment. And then I had gone to a conference. It's really not a conference. It's called the Southern Coterie in Sea Island, Georgia. These two women put it on with the support of a myriad of other women. A lot of influencers speak at it. A lot of entrepreneurs like yourself with businesses go to it to be inspired, and especially to learn how to connect with others, to collaborate, and just to learn what's going on, not only in the social media world, but in business, and what's sort of at the forefront of how we can optimize our businesses. So I was talking with my father, and I said, Dad, this conference, the Southern Coterie at the Cloisters, it's just something that looks like it's right up my alley, because I feel like I've got to take this to the next level, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
And I want to scale it right, and I want it to have integrity.
Because the first time you're by yourself, you're alone.
Right.
I mean, before you kind of had I'm sure a team of people, a network.
Yeah, and I love to be super independent and always figure stuff out quietly, but this time I was like, this seems right, like the right moment to go to this. And I went, it was in February of 19.
Okay.
I went by myself.
So this is really not but 2 years ago.
Yep.
Wow.
I went by myself and really just on a soul searching, fact finding mission to find out is it valid? Do I want to take it to the next step? How do I do that? And so it's neat because you get into all these breakouts, and it's all about women supporting women, and everyone's just so lovely. And I asked in the breakout group, I was just like, this is what I'm doing, and I just need to know, am I ready for the next? This is where I am, and this is where my sales are, and this is, and they were like, are you ready? And it was just so neat. And they said, look, you have got to find some support. You cannot do it all yourself. Yeah. That is your thing that's holding you back, is you. And so once you can start delegating a little and start saying, okay, what are the things that feed my soul?
What do I really need to focus on?
What do I want to do for my business that feeds my soul? And then you have to outsource a lot of the rest, or else you will not grow, and you'll prevent yourself from the success that you want to have. So I'm still in the baby steps of that phase.
Well, I realized, but that was only 2 years ago. The main thing I think is, for me as a female, is just self-awareness of that, right? So you're constantly growing, and as your business grows, sometimes you don't even realize you need more help. So just that self-awareness of kind of stepping back, and then being able to take that advice from others, and being able to see that, okay, there's something to this,
not doing it all.
That's right, not doing it all. And frankly, maybe I'm not good at everything either,
Exactly.
And that's sometimes, I think, a little hard for women, and the fact that we're kind of used to maybe being the center of the household and doing every, different task, and sometimes there is somebody maybe better than you at something.
Yeah, or can take a task off your plate.
Absolutely. Things that even I was doing a year ago, as we've been able to hire people internally, I'm like, this is almost laughable. This takes you 10 minutes, and this took me 3 days. But I'm glad to hear that you're kind of finding
Yeah.
your way.
Especially with order fulfillment.
Oh,
I
I'm
have
sure.
my little team come in and they're awesome, and it's just makes my day so much more enjoyable because that's not the thing
that you want to focus on.
No, and I'm
That's
up
right.
at 4 talking to India, and then I'm sleep deprived,
Huh.
and it's a lot of labor.
Absolutely.
The labor of just lifting the boxes and doing that all day is a lot.
And actually, my sister was here earlier, and she told me that you've been packing Amazon boxes all week. I'm sure that as spring picks up, people have been ordering.
It's getting busier, and I think now that COVID's settling down, it's
or
just
maybe not Amazon boxes.
Yeah,
that would
but
be
just
us.
boxes.
But I mean boxes for your online retail site, right?
Yeah, same thing. And so it's an exciting time. Spring's right here, and I think everybody's excited because things are picking up.
Yeah, well, people are excited to get out, and you know, some of the COVID restrictions have been lifted, and so we're all, I think, ready to kind of celebrate.
Absolutely.
No better way to do that. So, you know, as kind of a message to young women starting their career, do you have a message that you kind of want to share with the audience for women?
Wow.
I know it's a hard question, but
gosh, it's such a good one though. I think the main thing, honestly, my takeaway, because it really has been a journey for me, and to start it later, 48 to now I'm 52. I mean, I think the best advice I can give is be true to yourself. I mean, definitely follow your heart's calling. Do not do something that does not feed your soul. Do something that's fulfilling to you. And then once you get that idea, you just go for it and you keep going for it. And you're going to kiss some frogs, you're going to stumble, but just you're going to get there. And then the other thing for me, especially in the design world, and really I would say any product driven field or company, is stay in your lane. I mean, branding. I mean,
know who you are.
You all are so great at it.
Well, it's know who you are a little bit. It's self-awareness.
Definitely.
You just said, be yourself, right?
Yeah, and definitely be authentic.
That's right.
And then once you develop that, you're always going to, I mean, I was an art history major, so like with art, like with different creative things within a culture, appropriation is natural. To be like, oh, I want that, or I want to tweak this to look more like this because you're seeing this color or this way or this style. But it's so important to rein yourself back in and to constantly say, stay in my lane. Wow. What am I doing well? Because I could turn this into something it's not very, very quickly.
Absolutely.
And it's okay.
Then lose your focus.
But you just have to do what you do well. Once you're branded, you just can't start straying, or else you just lose the integrity really fast, and you upset a lot of people. So I try not to follow a lot of brands that I love on Instagram and stuff, because
you don't want to get that. You don't want to get that kind of.
I want it to stay like super pure and authentic, and so you can't help but absorb what's around you.
Well, I think that's a wonderful message, listeners, to be authentic, and I tell people that a lot. With my own journey, it's been a journey to kind of find myself, and especially in kind of a male-dominated agricultural space. So, once you kind of figure that out, that's when the magic really starts happening, and people want to be around people that are true to themselves.
Yes.
So I really believe
that's big. That's really big.
So part of Rise Up Your Bowl, is also about just healthy lifestyles and how do we incorporate healthy living into our everyday life. So there's no way that you can do all these wonderful things without having some type of healthy lifestyle. And just want to, ask you, how do you start your day? I mean, what is your day? What does the day in the life of Sue Sartor look like?
Working on the healthy.
I mean, of course
I'm really bad about prioritizing myself. I have to say, it's probably one of my biggest weaknesses. Like, I'll prioritize the business over myself, and
I think we're all guilty about that.
Right, and we're so passionate about it, and so that in a way, business feeds my soul. So, and I wake up and I want to do that first. And my husband Walter, he reminds me, like, you have to at least do a 25-minute asana. We call it asana. It's an app. It's like a little Asana Rebel. Like, you can do a little meditation, a little yoga, but you can personalize it. I used to do it more. He's really good about it. It makes him a better surgeon. I do believe in meditation. I'm not very good at it. My mind goes everywhere. but I know that 3 minutes of that is better than nothing.
Absolutely.
And breathing is huge. We all tend to like get really focused on our jobs, and we're all so intense, and we stop. And I think not allowing yourself that breath is super important. And then health and nutrition, of course.
Yeah.
Brown rice. Your brown rice is my favorite,
Well,
and I just
you.
ordered some on Amazon.
Well, thank you.
And making grain bowls. My daughter, we love to make grain bowls with fresh organic vegetables and stuff like that. And I like red wine a lot. We're having Chardonnay right now, but it's bad. I could have a little glass every day. And I think that might be kind of healthy for you.
Well, you know, I think that everything in moderation is healthy.
Yes.
I think it's just this idea that healthy also can be easy, right? So to your point, you know, meditation can be 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour.
Right.
You don't have to work at working out. You know, you can do 15 minutes one day and, you know, make sure that you're eating a balanced meal by just having a pot of rice and then veggies and maybe like one protein, like a fish or a chicken or something. It doesn't have to be some elaborate, well thought of, meal. Sometimes I think we overthink what we eat a little bit, and a little wine here and there never hurt anything.
I hope not,
in my opinion. But maybe that's calling the kettle black a little bit. But we'll see. Well, look, Sue, it is such a pleasure to be here and to be surrounded by all your beautiful dresses. I cannot wait to pick out a dress for my daughter and I.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate it. And thank you for helping us support women this month and everything that you do. Good luck.
Well, I've loved being here. Thank you so much,
Thank
Meryl.
you, too.